Thank you very much. I'm representing the GUE NGL here, and I will tackle this thing in two different kind of angles. And just because when I saw your conclusions on your mark, I could really agree with the conclusions. If you talk about how we solve the things inside the system, and when I mean inside the system, I'm always talking about the system that always have done growth as not as a mean, instead of making an objective, a goal by itself. So, and I want to talk about these two things. And first, I talk about this outside the system, because, and that's the same like my green colleague is talking about. The reason why we want growth. The reason why we want to growth in the rich country historically is to reach sort of things, so that we wanted to fill some needs or whatever. We didn't want to have growth just to have growth. It's not good to produce and consume things just to produce them and consume things. We want to fill some need. We want to build houses. We want to have food. We want other things. That's the reason why you can have growth, and that's also the reason why developing countries really need growth, because they are in total different situation that we are in the Western countries. So. Sometimes I ask myself what's happening, because in the debate it's always that growth, you can't argue against growth. If you say you're not in favor of growth, it's like saying you're not in favor of democracy or whatever. It's like you say swore in the church. You say so in English? I don't know. Swears. Thanks.
I don't do it.
No. Either do I. It's like swearing in the church. So you can't say that, because then you don't seem like a person who has anything in your head. So it's really difficult to say that. But it always has been now that the growth by itself, it's not a mean to reach something, it's an objective, a goal by itself. And why is that a problem? Yeah, because the problem is that we have limited nature resources. And it also that sometimes we people forget to understand that all our ecosystems, we are depending on them. Our welfare system are all depending on the ecosystem. If we don't have ecosystem, we don't have welfare system. And I can say that once again, we don't have any welfare system if we don't have ecosystem. Because we have water supply, we have pollination, we have fibers from the ecosystem, we have medicines, a lot of things. So if we don't take care of that, we don't going to have a welfare system. Then we're going to pay back later if we don't do anything now. So you really think about, if you want to produce and consume things, you have to put it in why you are doing this. And you also have a climate justice perspective there, of course, because if we in the rich country should consume and produce as we are doing now, it's going to be not so much left for the developing country, and they really need growth. We don't need growth in that way. So that's one way to tackle this thing if you talk about outside the system. But of course, if you are inside the system, you need to do a lot of things, like Ms. Evans talked about. But the problem now is that we always have this austerity measure. I'm a member of a party who don't like capitalist system, but now we have a capitalist system, so I have to deal with it in one way. In that case, we need measures like Keynes should have done if he would live, and what we did in the 60s and 70s and maybe 80s, not in UK maybe, but in other countries. So, but now we don't have that. We have always austerity measures, and we don't invest for the future, like in railways, green and energy, green housing, and because we're only cutting all the things, and that's a very bad thing in the long term. You really need to do a lot of things. Also, in gender equality perspective, for example, we really need to build up social infrastructure, so both women and men can be part of the labor market. That's not the truth. That's not the fact now. So and that's also part of productivity, also part of economy, and to do things. So a new growth model can be done in a very different way inside the system, but we also have to talk about, is this really a good system? Is this really what we want? Do we want more things to consume just to consume them? Or do we want to produce things that we need also? Thank you very much.